After defeating King Robb Stark and massacring the Northern Army, Tywin Lannister unveiled the creation of 2 new Valyrian steel swords, reforged from the ancient blade ice passed down through the Stark line. The first he presented to his son Jaime, hoping he was at last ready to take his place as heir to Casterly Rock. Yet while Jaime accepted the sword, he refused the offer, wanting to stay true to his vows as a Kingsguard. The second sword was later given to King Joffrey Baratheon, who named it Widow's Wail. Representing his brother Doran, the Prince of Dorne, Oberyn Martell arrived in the capital for the king's wedding, though in truth, he came to get justice for his sister Elia Martell and her children, who died during the Lannister sack of King's Landing at the end of Robert's Rebellion. While many knew the Mountain Gregor Clegane was responsible, Oberyn believed the order was given by Tywin Lannister, and so wanted them both to suffer. Elsewhere in the capital, Cersei reunited with Jaime and gifted him a golden hand, though their relationship was no longer as close as they'd once been. In order to train with his other hand, Jaime was paired with Tyrion's sellsword Bronn, though it was soon clear he'd never be the fighter he was. Tyrion, meanwhile, learned that Cersei knew about his lover, Shae, and was forced to end their relationship harshly so she would agree to leave the city. After Sansa saved the life of the drunken knight Ser Dontos Hollard, he met with her in secret and promised to help her escape the city, even gifting her a necklace he claimed was a family heirloom. She then accompanied her husband to the wedding of Joffrey Baratheon and Margaery Tyrell, where the king got drunk and ordered Tyrion to pour his wine. Yet as the king made a spectacle of himself, acting like a drunken fool, he suddenly started choking and collapsed to the ground where he died. In his final moments, Joffrey pointed in the direction of Tyrion, who was examining the wine cup, causing Cersei to lash out in anger, ordering the arrest of her brother. Although his wife Sansa was also a suspect, she disappeared with Dontos Hollard as the king died, and was brought onto the ship of Peter Baelish, who was revealed to be behind both Joffrey's death and her escape. He then killed the drunken knight to eliminate an unreliable witness, and sailed for the Vale. With the king dead and Tyrion arrested, young Tommen Baratheon sat the Iron Throne, though true power remained with his grandfather, the Hand, Tywin Lannister, who now had to organize a trial for his son, with himself, Lord Mace Tyrell, and Oberyn Martell acting as judges. Meanwhile, in the hopes of fulfilling his vow to Catelyn Stark, Jaime gave his Valyrian steel sword to Brienne of Tarth, who named it Oathkeeper, along with new armor, fresh supplies, 2 horses, and a squire, Podrick Payne, formerly assigned to Tyrion Lannister. Though the boy had limited fighting skills, he was fiercely dedicated, being the only person in the city to remain loyal to Tyrion the entire time he was in prison, even turning down a knighthood from Cersei when he refused to testify in the trial. Brienne then set off to search for Sansa and Arya, while Jaime remained, trying to repair his ever-worsening relationship with Cersei, who had her own concerns, worried about the growing influence of the Tyrells, only for her father to explain they needed the financial support of the Reach, since the gold mines of Casterly Rock ran dry 3 years earlier. Growing furious over her diminishing role in the capital and betrothal to Loras Tyrell, Cersei lost her temper and revealed the truth about her and Jaime, though Tywin remained in denial, claiming it wasn't true. However, Cersei's concerns over the Tyrells proved well-founded, as Olenna soon revealed to Margaery she was behind the king's assassination, thereby leaving her granddaughter to seduce and marry young Tommen, a much kinder and more malleable husband to manipulate. As the trial of Tyrion Lannister began, many were eager to win favor with Cersei by testifying against him, including his former lover Shae, causing him to lash out and yell about his hatred for the people and city, making his situation even worse. Although Jaime worked out a deal with Tywin to send his brother to the Night's Watch, Tyrion was so angry that he dismissed the entire ordeal and demanded a trial by combat. With Cersei choosing the Mountain Gregor Clegane as her champion, Tyrion was represented by the Viper Oberyn Martell, who wanted to exact vengeance against the man that murdered his sister. And while Oberyn nearly won the duel, he grew overconfident and tried to exact a confession from the Mountain as he died, allowing the wounded man to take advantage of the distraction and crush his enemy's head. With Oberyn killed, Tyrion was condemned to die until Jaime and Varys orchestrated his escape, with the Spider's involvement forcing him into exile as well. Yet before escaping, Tyrion made his way through the secret tunnels of the Red Keep towards his father's bedroom, where he found Shae and strangled her to death, only to then murder his father with a crossbow as he sat on the privy. Although Gregor Clegane won his battle with Oberyn, he received several wounds from a weapon covered in manticore venom, leaving him on the edge of death. However, the former Maester Qyburn was authorized by Cersei to perform experiments that would ensure his survival and preserve his strength, though he would be drastically changed. After escaping King's Landing, Peter Baelish brought Sansa to her Aunt Lysa in the Eyrie, high in the mountains of the Vale, having her pose as his niece Elaine. Though Lysa was welcoming, she was also mentally unstable, and so obsessed with Peter Baelish, she poisoned her own husband, Jon Arryn, and framed the Lannisters on his orders. Though they were quickly married after he arrived, she grew increasingly jealous and suspicious of Sansa, threatening to throw her from the Moon Door, until Littlefinger intervened and pushed Lysa to her death, allowing power in the Vale to transfer to her sickly young son Robin Arryn, who was heavily under the influence of his stepfather Peter Baelish. When the Lords of the Vale gathered to investigate Lysa's death, Sansa revealed her true identity, but lied to defend Peter Baelish, reasoning that she was better off with someone she knew over strangers. Seeing the potential in her, Littlefinger started to train her as an ally and partner, teaching her about politics, psychology, and civil administration. Love Game of Thrones? Then be sure to check out the new book, The Thrones Effect, written by a number of respected A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers, including GOT Academy, Because Geek, Secrets of the Citadel, Grey Area, Ideas of Ice and Fire, History of Westeros, and Smokescreen, with Chapter 5, titled Eye of the Beholder, written by CivilizationEx, exploring the various ways the characters can be interpreted, as well as how the audience reacted to their decisions. If interested, click on the link in the description box below, where The Thrones Effect is available as an ebook and in paperback, while the audiobook will be released soon. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Belligerent Man, Checo the Clever, The Smiling Cow, and Johannes the Juvenile. If you'd like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and click on the links to see more.